Hello, good morning, my director, my fellow teachers, and all the audiences. Today, I would like to present the result of my study that has been done for the last year. It's about the learning climate and good patient outcome. As we know that we run a residency program, and then we want to know whether the learning climate that they've been through and also yield also has a correlation with the good patient outcomes. The research questions are: how is the association between learning climate and patient satisfaction? It is based on the Smirnova that said that learning climate was associated with insignificantly increase at odds or adverse perinatal ratio. And also, how is the association between resident burnout and complication of the patient? It is based on the systematic review that suggests there is a moderate evidence that burnout is associated with safety related quality of care. And we have also another research questions. How is the correlation between learning climate, quality of life, resident burnout into the students' performance? We are seeing here examination score. It's based on the improvement of the educational environment in teaching hospital may be crucial for enhancing the performance of resident physician. The method were 210 residents in a hospital in Jakarta in four different departments. They were answered the email about the learning climate, the quality of life, and their burnout. And also we collected the data about their examination scores and about the patient that they handled, the patient satisfaction, complication, and the length of the stay in the hospital. I show you the table of the predictor variables and outcome variables and the method of the statistical analysis. Between the learning climate and patient satisfaction, I use a Pearson. And between the resident burnout and complication, I use the table of contingency. And to get to know the what affect the performance of the students, I use the multiple linear regression. And before preparing the data, before analyzing the data, I do elimination of the data. Like we have 5 samples that no department, and also there are data of the patient complication and resident burnout. The answer was 2, and I changed into 0 because 2 is mean they're not sure, and I changed into 0 is mean there is no complication as there is no resident burnout as well. And the result, the majority of the students were in the internal department, 40% of them, and radiology department was only 17.6%. And this is the data result from the resident point of view. And here I'm going to show you the burnout. The incidence of the burnout was 15.7%, and then the quality of life was higher in the radiology department. Examination of score was higher in the urology department, but there are no difference between groups in each department. And regarding the patient point of view, here I'm going to show you the complication of the patient and then satisfaction and then length of stay. The incidence of the complication was 14%, almost 14%. The patient satisfaction was highest in the radiology department, and length of stay was longest in the cardiology department. And the p-value, there is a significant difference in the complication between groups of each department. And to answer the research question number 1, how is the association between learning climate and patient satisfaction? Here, I show you the table, the correlation of the patient satisfaction and then the learning climate. And I also break down the learning climates into several subscale. If you can see here, the total learning climate has no correlation with the patient satisfaction. However, from the educational atmosphere here has the correlation with the patient satisfaction with the R 0.5 is correlate quite high, and adaptation also correlate with the patient satisfaction. And also here I show you the result that correlation between the learning climate and examination scores. And as you can see here, adaptation also correlate with the examination of score. And then this is the chart to show you the learning climate and patient satisfaction. There is no correlation. And to answer the research question number 2, how is the association between resident burnout and complication of patient? The p-value was 0.05, so it means there is a correlation between resident burnout and complication. And here I show you the correlation between the learning climate and then resident burnout and complication. There is no significant correlation between variables. And regarding, and also here the chart, you can see here the chart here is the learning climate and the resident burnout. The mean is almost the same, and learning climate and complication, and also the mean is almost the same. And to answer the research question number 3, how is the correlation between learning climate, quality of life, resident burnout, and examination of score of the student? And here there are also no significant difference between the variable. It means that examination score was not correlated with the learning climate, quality of life, and burnout of the students. Here are the references that I used during my research and during the analysis. Thank you very much for your attention.